Hello everyone and welcome back to Tech Tuesdays. Today we are talking about how to improve your PC performance for regular users, gamers, and both on the hardware and software side. So without further ado, let's get started. I believe RAM is important because your CPU needs to process things. It goes to the RAM, and if the RAM is full, it goes to the hard drive, which is a much slower process than if it goes to the RAM. That's why your computer slows down if you're running too many tabs and stuff like that. So I believe that 8 gigs is good for now, 16 if you want to future-proof, 32 is a bit over the top at this point. You don't have to go too overboard on speed as far as the RAM goes. 1600 is good. This is one of my 8 GB Corsair Vengeance sticks, 1600 megahertz. This is pretty good for speed right now. I don't really use much more than 8 gigs, but I have 16 gigs. This is an 8 GB stick. I have another one. So yeah, that's my recommendations. For under $100, you can get 8 GB of these 2x4 DDR3 1600 for $49.99 on Newegg, which is a pretty good price. And if you're looking to spend a little bit more than that, you can go with the Vengeance Pro 16 gigs 2x8 DDR3 2400 for $123.99 on Newegg. DDR3 RAM is fine for now. DDR4 is good for future proofing. That's going to give you pretty good speed. So, an important point when you're buying RAM is make sure it's compatible with your motherboard. So, most companies who make retail computers have RAM checkers on their websites to see if you can upgrade your RAM and to what sticks it's going to be compatible with. So, if you built your own PC, your motherboard manual is going to have a list of RAM that's compatible with your PC, but if you built it already, you probably already know that. So, then my next suggestion for an improvement is SSDs. These guys are great for speeding up your boot time, application loading times, in-game loading screens, and again, another important point is make sure your motherboard supports the version of SATA that you're looking to get with your SSD. So this is my Intel 530 series 120 GB SSD. So that is that. My recommendations as far as SSD goes is the Samsung 850 Pro Evo or the Intel 530 series, this one the 730 series. You're going to get good loading times with all of the SSDs in that series. You're definitely going to get better loading times than this old boy. This is a CK Barracuda 2000 gigabytes, which is 2 terabytes. This has a CD in it that spins around, and so a much slower process than an SSD because this is all mechanical. As far as gaming goes, a GPU is the best investment for improving performance on a gaming rig, I believe. I'm not going to take out my my GPU to show you, but the better the graphics are, the higher the settings you're going to be able to run in your games. So ensure you have the proper ports and enough power available in your power supply before purchasing a new graphics card. That is important. I don't want you to buy a graphics card that you can't use. So, when you're buying a graphics card, look to go up the tiers in the graphics card instead of the VRAM, if possible. So, you want to go from, a 760 to a 770 or a 960 to a 970 rather than going up in VRAM. You don't need 8 gigs of VRAM right now. By the time you will, that card's performance most likely won't be good enough anyway. And I'm looking at you, AMD, because I believe AMD has a new 8 gigabytes of VRAM graphics card, which is probably a little over the top at this point. My recommendations for GPU is a Gigabyte GTX 960 with 2 gigabytes of VRAM for $209.99. Anything in that range, GTX 960, at least 2 gigs of RAM, 3, 4 is good. Will allow you to run medium to high on most games out now. If you're looking to run ultra high, you're probably looking at a GTX 980 or a Titan. Titan's actually not a Titan, but probably a 980. And something that's really up there in that high price range. I would recommend when building a gaming rig that you put at least $200 in a graphics card to ensure good performance on your games. So don't cut corners on a graphics card. If you're going to cut corners in your rig, don't cut it on the graphics card because you're going to have a miserable time running games if you cut corners on your graphics card. And so the last part of this video, we're going to talk about the software. I have a couple recommendations, a couple simple things, but people often overlook them. Update regularly, because updates are going to bring better performance and stuff like that. Check for viruses often. If you have viruses, obviously it's going to slow your computer down. Defragment your hard drive if necessary. Don't have program startup you don't need. Delete things you don't need or don't use. don't have a million things running at once. That kind of goes without saying, but these tips are basic, but a lot of people don't follow them. I mean, if you're having slow performance on your computer, which you probably are if you're watching this video, some of these basic things you should try and follow if you're not following already. So if these tips don't work and you've upgraded your hardware, installing a new operating system or doing a clean install can fix some of your problems. So obviously make sure you do a backup before you do something kind of serious like that. So if you're running an old OS, like, I don't know, Vista, notorious for being a bad operating system, you're going to want to upgrade to, Windows 8 or Windows 10. And doing a clean install, if you just have a lot of crap on your computer, will help clean it out. So let me know in the comments if I missed anything you believe helps your PC performance. I mean, there's a lot of little things you can do to speed it up, cleaning the cache, stuff like that. So let me know any of that stuff down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.